Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Trust Your Worth podcast, the podcast that helps you tap in to the power of trusting your worth. Today, I have a very, very special guest, my good friend, Macy. I'm so grateful she reached out because she is a expert in helping raise children, because my friend Laura asked me how do we teach children to trust their worth, and I was like, I don't know, I'm not a mom.
That's
SOS.
yeah.
So I've enlisted Macy today,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm so grateful she's here today. So Macy, could you give us a
Yeah.
rundown on your background and how you got into this?
Yeah, sure. So I have an undergraduate in family science, and then I went and got a master's degree in marriage and family therapy and was a clinician for a little bit, and then in Los Angeles, and then I went back and got my PhD in specifically child development. And I look at parenting. So caregiving, how to take care of children, how to help children. I teach a lot of parents about pretty much how to sort of break cycles of trauma. So how do we help children be the best? Because we know that those years where the brain is growing are so important. And so I teach at the University of Utah now. I'm an assistant professor, and then I often teach it in jails, in prisons, and helping parents sort of become empowered. It's one of my favorite parts of what I do. It's like a really sacred space for me. And then I do a lot of co-parenting and divorce work. So yeah, I do it, all those things. And most famously was your roommate in my freshman year of college. So
yes,
it's my biggest accomplishment.
Well, thank you. I mean, we had a butt ton of roommates living on.
Yeah, it's true. Floor mates. I should say floor mates. Yeah, there was 40 of us in one bathroom. So
yeah, we lived in the dorms, and it was a fun time. Well, thank you so much again for being here. You have done a lot of things. That's so cool that you've been able to help so many people, and I'm so excited for you to share your wealth of knowledge today.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna go through these questions here. So how do you raise children with a strong sense of self-worth, which is that's kind of a broad topic, obviously, but so where do I start?
So it's a great question. There's the science. Okay, so typically when I help parents, I try to tell them that the best parenting comes when science and culture meet together, because I can tell you the science and say how you should do it. But if you don't have money, if you don't have a break, if you can't relax, if you're a single parent, if your kid is a learning disability, you can't necessarily follow the science. So a good example of that is breastfeeding. We know breastfeeding is the best practice by a long shot. All the science supports it. But here in America, breastfeeding isn't necessarily supported. There's not breastfeeding rooms. If you are at work, how do you breastfeed? How do you have privacy? And so if you're stressed as a parent and you have cortisol pumping through because there's no place to breastfeed, then breastfeeding isn't the best practice. So just keep that in mind. Whatever I talk about, I know that people are privileged and people have oppression. And so it's hard. Parenting is very hard because the systems in place don't support parents very well. Mm-hmm. And so for child development and establishing that best worth, we know the science say that the first 5 years is where that happens. So how you're loved and supported before you hit kindergarten is going to determine how well you function as an adult, how your relationships are as an adult, how well you do in school, how well you self-regulate. And that positive development comes from having the most resources, so sleep and food, and then love and warmth. Mm-hmm. So it has to be a blend of boundaries and love, because if you are the cool mom, if you think of that Mean Girls, kids have to sleep. You have to keep them from crossing the road without looking. So you have to have some firmness, but it has to be matched with love. And the good news is you only have to get it right 40% of the time to protect children. That's an F. If you took my class, that'd be an F. And so you just have to let them know that they're cared for seen, I always tell parents to, however tall your child is, match that level. So if they're, get on your knees to talk to them.
Mhm.
If you can just do that 40% of the time, their brain's going to develop enough where that self-worth will come in. It's
Mhm.
just, if you don't do it, the impact is exponential. So
Yeah.
that's the tricky part.
Yeah, so, like, I'm thinking 7 days a week, so maybe I'm guessing I'm doing bad math in my head, but, like, 3 days of the
Yeah,
week,
like, yeah,
you're
show up
you're
and
connecting with
your
your kid
kid, you're reading
on
with
their
them.
level.
Yeah, reading with them. This, it's just, I mean, it goes past the year 5 for sure.
Yeah.
But if you, there's like interesting scans of the brain where only like at 1 month you can see the neural pathways growing, and then at 3 months, and then at 2 years you can see them fully grown, and then about year 3, 4, it almost matches an adult brain. So
Oh, wow.
that time is like
Yeah.
so pivotal.
Mhm.
Um, and if you can't be warned, say like you're stressed as a parent, you are working 2 jobs, and having the space to like sit with your kid and sing them songs, that's like, if you're working, if you're stressed, that's hard to do.
Yeah.
The least you can do is not have your kids stressed. So, and this goes into the older years as well, especially as a teen, that you don't want them stressed because cortisol is so bad for a growing
Mhm.
brain. And we're just learning this. This is like within the last 10 years, 15 years, how bad cortisol is. And that fight or flight, that I feel stressed. Like when a bear's chasing you in the woods, your fight or flight kicks in to help you survive. And then you
Yeah.
escape the bear and you're like, thank goodness I left, escape that bear. But if the bear is like living in your house with you, because that fear, that anger, that violence maybe towards your child, if it never goes away, then their brains are being pumped with cortisol constantly. And we now know it's like worse than heroin for the brain. Like it is the worst thing, so much so that it changes how your DNA is presented. So if a child is stressed at 1 year old, their grandkids will feel the effects. Their grandkids will have higher levels of anxiety. Their grandkids will have higher levels of depression. That's how terrible cortisol is for a growing
Oh my
brain.
gosh. So
So,
generational
oh,
trauma being
trauma.
passed on.
It's called epigenetics. Yeah, I mean, it is long lasting. So now we know that survivors of the Holocaust, their descendants already had an unfair chance in life. People of
Wow.
color in our country already had an unfair chance in life. Descendants of the indigenous people already have an unfair chance in life because of the trauma that their great grandparents, great grandparents experienced. Already can already be felt and seen, and
Mhm.
so kind of counteracting that is what's going to make the difference for your child and their children, and that's that 40%.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, that's crazy because I I definitely had some
Yeah,
generational
yeah.
trauma going
Yeah,
on in
for
my
sure.
family, which I won't get into
Yeah.
right now, but,
Yeah.
like, I can see the effects in my own
Yeah.
life and the ways
Yeah.
that I interact with people.
Yep.
Um, yeah, because I like, my grandmother grew up on the res in a
Yeah.
very, very poor environment, and so, yeah,
Yeah.
I can see how my parents were like, My life will never be like that," so they went, like, pure opposite, was like, "I will be the richest,
Yeah, yeah, they want the
baddest,
resource. Yeah, for sure.
baddies," and so we had everything, like,
Yeah.
monetary-wise, but
Sure.
there were
That.
ways where they lacked
Yep.
in the love department, which
Yeah.
is, like,
Yeah.
not really their fault,
Yes,
but,
exactly.
just, like, yeah, lacking in other areas.
Yeah, there's a real injustice to it, which is why,
Mhm,
like, my time in the prisons and jails that I work in is so sacred because I get to talk about that and sort of,
mhm,
obviously they need to serve time for their crimes and
yeah,
that has to happen. But I also can say, like, your path was sort of laid out before you even had a chance.
mhm,
And let's talk about how that feels. And then let's make sure we stop that for your children. Um,
yeah,
so yeah, I think that's why I like this work so much because the world is hard. There are so many problems, but if I could just like help parents like love their kids, just like 40%. I get an F, an F. I'm going to say that number a lot. Just
Yeah,
that like
but
an
every
F.
parent's gonna be like, "I
Yeah,
love
yeah,
him."
I did
Like,
it.
all the time. I'm like,
Yeah, yeah,
not like your action.
yeah,
I get what you're
exactly.
saying though.
Yeah. If I could just get parents to like be at an F level, then like
Yeah.
we actually might see a difference in people.
Yeah. So in terms of reducing the cortisol, because like
Hmm.
shoot, and part of that sounds so environmental.
For
Like
sure.
what where do we start? So
Yeah.
maybe okay, how about we start with a safe environment?
Yep.
Like what can we do there? And then like if we're in an unsafe, we can't get out.
Yeah.
Do we
That's our
is step
culture and science meeting. Yeah.
yeah, is step number 1 like getting out or
You
like
know,
do
so
we
great question. Really, really great question. So actually the 40% is in hopes to protect against trauma we can't control. So
Mhm,
you actually, by doing that 40%, if something goes wrong because of the environment, because of things that are
mhm,
out of our control, um, that's sort of way to compensate that is to
okay.
buffer them from that.
Yeah.
So you know what? That's a great question because it's tricky because you often need money to like do well and have
Mhm,
food. Um, but so there's this process called serve and return, and it's like the key to like positive, good self-worth development. It's when a parent speaks to a child and then the child responds, and then you have to respond to their response. I think often we go, "How's your day?" "Fine," and then we go our own ways. But
mhm,
if you say like, "How was your day?" and they maybe don't want to answer, you take that effort to like get that answer.
mhm,
Or if they're crying, you can have them name their emotion. You could say, "What would your tears say right now?" Or you'd help them. Their fists are clenched. They're like frustrated with their brother or whatever.
mhm.
You can say, this is serve and return. You go, "I see that your fists are clenched. What do you think's happening?" "I'm mad. I get mad too all the time." And then you're engaging in that. And it can be touch, it can be song, it can be book, reading a book. It can be book. It's like it can be purse. It's
Yeah,
um uh and so even if the environment is tough,
yeah,
kneeling and saying, "How are you?" and having them respond, and then you respond back,
mhm.
is what you do to combat that environment.
No, that's so helpful
Yeah.
because I can picture that already. I mean, not a mother, but I have nieces and
Yes, yes, yes.
and yeah, I think even me too growing up, just the importance of getting on their level and, like, actually responding. Because like,
Yep,
I think of my younger siblings, and I'd be like, "How's your day?" "Cool."
yep, yep,
"Great."
yep, yep,
"What'd
yep.
you do?" And
Yes,
I felt the disconnect because, like, they weren't giving me anything, but, like, yeah, I've definitely felt the difference between, like,
yeah,
when we're actually, like, not really
engaging.
forcing them to engage with me, but, like, trying to get deeper.
And say they go, "Fine, I don't want to talk about it." You go, "Oh, I sometimes don't want to talk about things either, especially after a hard day. Is it okay if I ask you later about it?" Like
Mhm.
that's serve and return.
Yeah.
So not forcing, that's sort of the bound. That's what I'm saying, boundaries with love. So you're saying, "Can I ask you later?" So it's asking about a boundary, but
Yeah.
doing it in a warm way.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
No,
So
that's so great, the asking you later because I would have appreciated that so much.
yeah,
Like, "I'm
totally.
mad right now, I'm not gonna tell you right now while I'm mad," but then later, I think I would have been afraid to be like, "Ugh, I didn't talk
Yeah,
about it
totally.
then, so I can't talk about it now."
Totally. And then
But
another
no, it's
key
so good.
piece is the validation,
Mhm.
because like I'm grumpy all the time. Like kids are allowed to be grumpy.
Yeah.
Like they are on like this, like the school system is set up in a really weird way where you have to act a certain way that isn't really real life.
Yeah.
Like I don't at work have to hold my bath. Like if I have to pee, I don't have to like sit there and then like find the right card to hold up or the
Yeah.
right hand signal. I just read the room and go, "This is an appropriate time to go to the bathroom."
Yeah.
We don't really teach that. And so they are on a lot in school in ways that isn't pretty normal actually, like for
Yeah.
adults. There's this like have you ever heard of the card flipping in elementary school? Do they have that in Canada?
Card flipping?
Yeah, like if you misbehave, you have to go up to your card and you flip your color.
No, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it's a thing here. So, like, if a kid, and then you get your color at the end of the day, your parents have to see which color you were. And they
No.
did, so the researchers say that's a bad idea because you're shaming them. And like,
Yeah.
where's you're behaving so you don't flip a card rather than like building a learning community, essentially. But there was
Yeah.
this really interesting study that they did where teachers who were attending a teacher conference, someone secretly assigned them cards, and every time they like talked while someone was talking, they got their card flipped. If they went to the bathroom without raising their hand, they got their
Yeah.
card flipped. And it
Yeah.
kind of showed that like that's not real adulthood. So anyways, kids are really on during school. So when they get home, just like me when I'm grumpy and have a long day, they're going to be like not fun to talk to. And they
Yeah.
might act out. Actually, they
Mhm.
might be mean to you, they might snap at you, and that means you're safe. So I always
Mhm.
tell that to parents. If they're like driving you nuts and they're like, when they get home from school, like, can you just eat the Oreo normal instead of like putting on the windows and smearing it down or whatever?
Yeah.
Like,
Uh-huh.
that's because they feel safe enough to sort of like be normal and let
Yeah.
loose. And that's
Mhm.
actually a compliment to how much space you're creating for them that allows
Mhm.
them to like try something crazy like smearing an Oreo down the window. Like, so annoying and the worst, but
Yeah.
they can't do that. They're not doing that at school. So
Yeah, so is there something, like, maybe a good activity for when they get home that might be helpful, or just, like, do we just leave them alone for, like, 15
sure.
minutes?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think it's hard for me to answer because like all kids are different. So like
True.
an extrovert kid's probably going to want to process their day and
Yeah.
talk nonstop. An introvert kid's probably not going to be bothered until they've had their like alone time.
Yeah.
Um, so like with my stepkids would do like glows and grows. So
Mhm.
I wouldn't do it right when they got home from school, but at dinner time, I'd say like a glow is what is something that went really well
Mhm.
today. Tell me about it instead of like, how's your day? Because they're always going to go, fine.
Yeah.
So you kind of have
So
to
true.
like, yeah, fine. And then how do you do serve and return to that? Right.
Yeah, yeah.
So you do a glow, so something they really liked about the day, and then a grow, which is like the bad thing, but you
Yeah.
say like, what is something you could work on that you wish you had done better?
Oh, nice.
Um, you know, I also study like technology and parenting and child development, and so
Mhm.
how much media should they
Yeah.
consume? And it's a complicated answer in a different episode of this podcast. But like media can be okay. Like when I
Yeah.
have a hard day, like I'm gonna play on my phone. I'm gonna play
Mhm.
Candy Crush to like unwind for 15 minutes. So like
Yeah.
kids are allowed to do that. They're allowed
Yeah.
to unwind. They're allowed to like have like a dumb space where they can just do stuff.
Yeah.
So like it actually is not bad to have them come home, and if they want 30 minutes to be on their iPad, that's okay. It doesn't mean
Yeah.
they're gonna fail and they're addicted to media. It just means like their brain needs a break, and then you can engage with them.
Yeah.
Um, and then the other kind of rule of thumb is like if a kid is misbehaving and you need to take away their iPad, you
Mhm.
want to match the punishment by the year. So 1 minute for every year.
Mhm.
So, like, if a 3-year-old's being crazy with their toy and hitting their brother, you want to take it away for 3 minutes. That's the
Yeah.
only way that punishment's going to like click in their brain. Any longer, it doesn't mean anything. They
Mhm.
can't comprehend that. So, if it's an 8-year-old, you're going to say, no computer for 8 minutes.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, so, like, having sort of, like, time limits would be, like, kind
boundaries.
of like
Yeah.
boundar
But
a
it's got to be
boundary
clear.
activity, yeah, mhm,
Yeah. It's got to be clear. The expectations have to be clear, and it has to come with like a conversation about it and a
yeah,
negotiation. It can't be
mhm,
because I said so. That
yeah.
is like it's just not going to
The
help them.
yeah,
Yeah, you want your kid to know, hey, I've been playing Roblox, I think too long. Like my body feels yucky. And then
yeah,
they go outside on their own. That's brain development.
mhm,
But if you say, stop playing Roblox because I said so, then that skill of like learning how to do it themselves and that self worth that you're building isn't going to be there.
yeah,
So I'd say, like, it's my job to make sure you get your homework done.
yeah,
Like, as your parent, and because
mhm,
I did do pretty well in 4th grade. Like, I know. So, and 5th grade, 5th grade was really hard for me. Like, but 4th grade was, and so it's my job to make sure you do your homework. So, like, how much more time do you want for Roblox? And then we're going to tackle this homework and let them, they're probably going to say 150 minutes. They're probably going to give something crazy, and then you counter it and you go, ooh, that's going to go into dinner time. What about 30 minutes? And you could give them that choice. So, because again, you're teaching that like self-regulation, which is so hard.
So giving them a chance to be a part of
Yeah.
the rules that you're setting.
Yeah.
And I feel like I would like that to be like, I'm more involved. I'm like, yes, I picked that.
Yeah, for sure.
I remember when actually my mom was like, you did something. I don't remember what I did wrong, but I remember she was like, okay, you get to pick your punishment. And I was like,
yeah, I know. Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, because I had just started learning guitar and I genuinely was like playing it all the freaking time. So I was like, I think I have to give you my guitar for 30 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
And I did.
Good job.
I never forgot it because they let me choose it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I agree to this.
Empowering them. Yep.
I will serve it. It was my choice.
Yep. Exactly. This is like, whenever I tell parents this, they always roll their eyes at me, and I get it. But like, timeouts are like canceled. We don't do timeouts anymore. They're called, see, this is where people go, oh brother. A lot of times, like, the research will call them cozy spots. I know, but it's the idea of, if a child's acting out, they're overwhelmed, and when I'm overwhelmed, I go to my bed and I get my good pillow and a glass of wine or whatever. They can't do that, so putting them in jail doesn't help. But if I say, you seem like your brother really hurt your feelings and you look mad, is there a place you can go to take a break? And then they have their spot, their cozy spot, that they go and deregulate, and that cortisol decreases, leaves the brain, and then you can have a conversation about it. So like, it's not saying go be a easy peasy parent and you let them do whatever they want. It's like teaching that, like, oh, I'm pissed at my sister right now and I hate the way I feel. I'm going to say something I'm going to regret. So I'm going to choose myself to go leave to this spot that's safe for me. And that's the lesson. That's the self-worth that you're building.
Yeah, for sure. So sort of teaching them self-reliance on regulating their emotions, which we all need.
Yes,
I feel like we all
I'm terrible at it. I'm
regulating our emotions.
Yes, I teach it, and I'm so bad at it.
Are there things you should never do? Just like hands down, are like the worst things you could possibly do? What are some of those?
Yeah. So, so the answer I have is, people don't like, and I butt heads with a lot of people about it. But it's honestly the only thing that, like, my field pretty much all agrees on, and then 50 years of research also support, and that's no spanking. It's no spanking. So no, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Even if it's an open hand, because most governments, you're allowed like an open hand SWAT. The lesson, like, you can't teach empathy when violence is involved. You can't teach empathy when, like, a severe punishment. You want, like, discipline, not punishment. And so even if you don't harm the child, spanking just teaches them to not self-regulate, but avoid being hit. So that's kind of just the big number one. There isn't a ton of research on this, but there was an interesting trend that when Netflix came out, spanking decreased significantly. So we actually don't do it a lot. We do it a lot less now. And the theory of kind of the thought that's behind it is, like, parents were able to have a break. So, like, you could put on Cocomelon or whatever. That show's terrible. That's another episode in itself. But you could put something on, like, as a parent, go to your cozy spot and, like, take a break. Because usually spanking is about the parent being flooded.
Yeah,
rather than, so I know everyone like is really uncomfortable with like media, but like having 20 minutes as a parent, putting on an episode of Bluey. Bluey's actually an excellent show. Putting
Mhm.
on Bluey and then like going and showering will make you a better parent. Like that's
Yeah.
okay. Like you're allowed to do that. You're allowed to like scrub your pits, and
Yeah.
exist as a human so that when they
Yeah.
do something terrible, which will happen, they will make a mess, they will smush your lipstick into the carpet. They'll do all that for
Yeah.
sure. You have that, like you have a break. You can give yourself a break.
Yeah. So, yeah, give your time to
Yes,
self-regulate.
you're allowed it. You're allowed to put on
Yes,
Netflix for your kid.
for
And
sure.
we now know that it kind of will help you. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. That's a
Yeah.
cool stat.
Yeah. Funny,
But
right?
I actually
Yeah.
was very surprised. I was like, "What?
Yeah. Crazy, right?
How?"
Yeah.
The correlation.
Yeah.
I think that's so funny that somebody was like, "I found that correlation."
Yes. Yeah.
To
Yeah.
Netflix to, like, less
Yeah.
spanking.
Video on
Okay.
demand. It's really video on demand.
Yeah,
Is it maybe
yeah.
maybe the pod's sponsored by Netflix? I don't know. But it's
Oh,
just like,
maybe.
oh
And we love Bluey. I
yeah,
do love
Blue's
that show.
great. I
Uh,
I just made my students. So I asked my students, what is a good example of, because all the dads on TV are like Homer Simpson.
yeah.
They're all like Dopes or like
Yeah.
Modern Family.
Absent, like,
Yeah,
there, but
saying
not really
dumb,
there. Just
dumb.
like,
It's the
"Ask
mom's
your
always,
mom."
yeah, the
Yeah.
mom's always like having to keep it all together, but also the
Yeah.
mean one.
Mhm.
So I had my students sort of brainstorm what TV shows have a dad that's like really supportive and wonderful. And everyone came up with a lot of single dads, like Full House,
Mm.
but not where there was a dad and a mom, and the mom wasn't like taking all the emotional labor, except for Bluey. That was like the
Nice.
one where the dad, like, or the dog, really shows up, and the labor is equal, and there's every parenting moment in that show I know is backed by research. Someone's on that staff creating really wonderful moments. So
Oh, excellent. No,
yeah,
that show has made me cry.
yes, for sure. It's like so sweet.
Yeah, it is such a sweet show. So you heard it here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Watch Bluey with your
Watch
kids or
Bluey.
not with your kids, it's fine. Guilty
Yeah.
pleasure.
There's this clip I play where the mom, I don't know the names, I'm so sorry, but the mom dog tells her big kid dogs to play a balloon game where they hit the balloon. She's like
Yeah.
encouraging, that's serve and return.
Mhm.
And in the middle of it, Bluey, is that the main dog?
Yeah, the blue
Yeah,
dog
yeah,
is
yeah,
named
yeah, yeah.
Bluey.
Got it. He knocks the plant over
Oh,
and
yeah.
dirt falls out. And the mom, while they're playing the balloon game, just scoops up the dirt and puts it in the pot. Doesn't say a thing. It's not part of the
Mm.
plot. She doesn't
Yeah.
address it. And I love that so much because she's encouraging play, and kids don't know how to use their body, so they're going to spill dirt. And
Mhm.
you have to ask yourself, like, I have 40% to show up for my kids. Is it worth bugging them about this dirt? And the Bluey mom didn't. And she just
Mhm.
cleaned it up and let it be. And I think it's a really great clip. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. Because I feel
Mhm.
like I'd be like, "Oh, they're gonna clean that up later. I ain't touching that. They're
Yeah,
cleaning
yeah,
that
exactly. Or you go,
later."
this isn't your stuff. You need to learn to respect when you have a
Yeah.
job, all that same
Yeah.
stuff. And maybe you have a hard day and you do say that. And that's okay too, because
Yeah.
then your 40% comes in somewhere else. But
Mhm.
you can also like choose like, oh, they're 4. And of course,
Yeah.
I mean,
Of course they're gonna
yeah,
hit
they're gonna hit the face.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I think remembering, like, they're a child, you're the adult in the situation.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I
And
think, yeah.
she said play balloon in this room, and if you do that,
Yes.
that means
So,
like
like,
everything is
that's
gonna
on
be,
me. That was me.
yeah, for sure, yeah.
I think I've had those moments. I think that brings up to or, like, ties into this next question. Are there things that we're doing that we may not realize is harmful?
Yeah, I think the biggest one is back to like connecting to emotions. So I think
Mhm.
I could go into it, but like World War II really messed us up as a world. Like honestly,
Sure.
our
Very
problems
fair.
today, yeah, our problems today, honestly, our problems today come from World War II. Our
Okay.
family problems.
Yeah.
Men went to war, got PTSD. We didn't know what that
Mhm.
was. Then they
Yeah.
had to come back and be fathers, and they were terrible at it. they had PTSD and like a
Yep.
lot of alcohol was involved. And
Yeah.
then their kids had kids, and all they know is like a PTSD dad,
Mhm. Yeah.
and so on and so on, and specifically not acknowledging emotions and like what's happening.
Mhm.
So I always try to tell parents that as age appropriate as possible to let them see your struggle and emotions so that they know they're comfortable with their emotions. So like
Mhm.
I talk about all the time, like with my stepkids, like I go to the brain doctor. I have a therapist because and they know I cry a lot. I'm like, I'm a crier. Like
Yeah.
good things make me cry, bad things make me cry, and I'm just a crier. And so when they cry, they're like, well, you're a crier. I'm like, I know I'm a crier.
Yeah.
Or like when they're like, what's wrong? I'm like, I'm really frustrated because my keys were just here.
Yeah.
And my brain is being silly right now and saying, I can't remember where the keys are, and I just feel like I want to do push-ups or something. I really want to punch a wall, but I'll say like, so I'm
Yeah.
just gonna do a couple push-ups, and then like you have to show them your anger, you have to show them your joy, you have to show
Mhm.
them your tears, because if you don't, then they don't do that. And
Yeah.
I'm sure you know that. I'm sure you've seen your parents,
Yeah.
like they don't show anything, right? They have to be
Yes.
strong. Yeah,
So
yeah.
true. I don't think I've seen my dad cry very often,
Totally.
if not at all.
Yeah, totally. Yep.
And I only cry a lot only because my mother would reinforce, like, "It's okay to cry. You can
Yeah,
cry
yeah,
whenever."
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, so I just remember that, like, "Yes, it's okay to cry."
Yeah,
'Cause
and
I
then
also cry a lot.
yeah, but then also she needs to show that she cries. That's the other
Yeah.
key. You have to
Mhm.
like, and then naming it. Naming
Mhm.
emotions is really hard. I am
It is.
terrible at it. I've had
Yeah.
a lot of therapy to be better at it, and I'm still at
Mhm.
a D probably. And so like doing the things like your fists are clenched or whoa, you're smiling a lot. Was school good today? Did school make you happy? So you're identifying the happy emotion.
Yeah.
That's all positive. There you
Yeah.
go.
So kinda like name it to tame it. I feel like somebody told me that, like, that
Oh,
works in like, name it to tame it,
oh
but
my
it's like can
gosh, I
work the
love
other way where it's
yes.
like, I'm naming my happy emotions too, where it's just
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm so happy right now, or like, I'm super excited or motivated right now, and just like
Yeah.
celebrating those things, but
Yep.
like also the negative ones took me forever
Yeah,
to name. So I
yes,
was like,
for
"Oh, I'm so
sure.
mad right now." Like I felt like
Yeah.
it was unfair to me to like say I was
Yep.
angry, so my anger would always come out like in bad ways.
Yeah.
Because instead of just acknowledging it, I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I'm yelling at you because I'm pissed at myself really, but I'm
Yes,
just
for
gonna yell
sure.
at you because you're
Yeah.
here."
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I get a headache versus like, oh, I think I might be lonely, right? Like my back
Yeah,
hurts versus,
yeah.
and that's a survival instinct. That's the culture. That's again going back to World War II. Like it's all connected. And so being able to name it. I do have
Mhm.
one really easy tip
Yeah.
to protecting your kids against sexual abuse.
Oh,
Yeah,
excellent.
so I'm sorry
Yes.
to go dark, but I try to
Please.
say that it's so easy that I always try to say it because it's like the number one
Yes.
way to protect your kids.
Yeah. No, that's
And
great.
it's always calling private parts what the anatomical name is. So vagina,
Yeah.
vulva, penis.
Mhm.
And grandparents hate it. They want to call it a
Yeah.
foo-foo and a tutu and a whatever.
We call it the
Um,
craw in this
yeah, yeah,
house.
yeah. Like there are funny names, like it's just what it is.
Yeah.
But if you only use those terms, then the second a new term comes in, someone
Mhm.
is talking to them about their body parts, and you
Yeah.
can
You can
have that stop it.
find it, yeah,
Yeah.
stop it, figure it out
Yep.
right
Yeah.
away.
Figure it out right away. So if
Mhm.
they come home calling it a foofy, then you
Yeah.
know someone is
Mhm.
calling it that, and you can immediately yeah. So it's like so easy. It's like the easiest way to protect them.
No, thanks for sharing that because
Yeah.
that's something as not a parent, I wouldn't even think
Mhm.
about.
Yeah, we now know the stats have just gone up. It's one out of two women now have had
Wow.
some type of sexual abuse, trauma, or harassment.
Mhm. Wow.
Crazy.
Yes.
So that's the other tip. That tip too.
Yes. So, call it a penis, call it a
Call it a
vagina.
yeah, yes. And
I'm gonna
it's
put
not a
that
fun
on a
word.
shirt.
Yeah, yes. Oh my gosh. And it's not a fun word to say. I know.
Save your children.
Yeah, my poor students, I'm like, it's a penis. It's a penis. And they're like, wow, I've never heard penis in college before, in a classroom at least. And I'm like, It's because it's so important. Like, how
Yeah.
easy 10 seconds of making that decision is going to protect a lifetime of,
Yeah.
trauma. Like, please.
Mhm.
It's convincing the older folks for sure.
Do you wanna talk more about screens? Like, the amount of screen time play a role and so
Yeah,
forth?
so there are recommendations by the APA, and I can send you that data. I don't have it perfectly memorized.
Okay.
But the kids, so follow that, especially before 2. But do you know children are different too? Like, one
Mhm.
kid could be so good at regulating and was like, I'm ready for outside time, and they love the outside. One kid, like, the second they start watching YouTube, like 8 hours later. So like the
Mhm.
rules, they have to be adaptable, they have to be flexible, they have to match. Um, and the way I usually explain it for kids is like Taco Bell is like really easy sometimes, and it's really nice to not have to think about dinner
Mhm.
and just get Taco Bell. It's really nice to not have to think sometimes and be on your phone. That's really nice. But if you only ate Taco Bell every day, like, you would be unhealthy, and you want to sometimes have like a really nice dinner. And those memories come from doing different things than just sort of like watching your phone. Um, we do know that monitoring software doesn't work great. So, like, parents who have the Family 360, I think it's fine. Like, I use it, I think it's nice. But kids will always be smarter than you. So, whatever
Ye
they're up to, they're going to find a way. Like, you're just
Yeah.
not, you can't compete with like what they're
Yes.
talking about at school. So, like, thinking the app that's going to cause the most damage, or Snapchat's bad, there's going to be a new app, like, they're going to find a
Mhm.
different way. And so the best way to protect them is to have a really positive relationship with them and be a safe space
Mhm.
and talk about consent. And because I've done some studies on sexting, and 80% of my participants told me they sex regularly, they're in their teens. And so that's
Oh,
like a high number. And that's
yeah.
80% willing to tell me. So, like, yeah,
Wow.
yeah, it's hot. Like, they're doing it. Like, I always tell parents, I'm like, they're probably participating in it. The odds are.
Yeah.
So having a conversation about like the pictures are forever. And if you get a naked photo, come talking to me about it.
Mhm.
And not having shame about that. Consent's really important because for sexting, teen boys have positive consequences from participating in it. They
Yeah.
get clout, they get celebrated, they're
Mhm.
seen as men.
Yeah.
Women, the problem with it really is teen girls, the mental health consequences are significant.
Yeah.
And so, like, if you have boys, like, having the conversation of like, would you want your naked photo to get sent to someone else? Because often they're probably going to get it from
Yeah.
someone's body, and then they're going to
Mhm.
pass it on. That's usually
Yeah.
typically, so even if they're not taking it, they're going to get it. And so having a conversation about consent, about what a person agrees to, because some of the students that I spoke to reported that if their girlfriend said no to sexting, they would put their face with AI on a naked body anyways.
Oh my gosh.
So, like,
Awful.
keeping up with AI isn't the key. Raising good men to respect consent in women's
Mhm.
bodies is the key. And that starts at 4 when they touch their sister and she doesn't want it, and saying, hey, if someone says no about their body, you got to stop. Or
Yeah.
you don't have to hug grandma. That's your
Yeah.
body. And
Mhm.
then those lessons are layered and building so that when that time comes and their AI, the buddies are around a computer making AI naked photos, that maybe
Mhm.
those lessons can come in.
Yeah, so, like, I'm thinking so at 4, there's that conversation about consent being like,
So,
"No
yep.
means no," and then
No, yep.
when do we start talking about, like, the sexting and the pornography aspect of it? Like, 8
Sure.
years old? Because I heard
Yeah, yeah,
as young as
yeah.
8. Well,
I,
actually, I feel like I heard 6 years old was, like,
yeah.
they're exposed
So
to it.
I do think that, like, conversations about sex start as like at kindergarten, age appropriate, focusing on consent and
Yeah.
focusing on body parts and their names and you only show your penis to a doctor or mommy or daddy or mommy and mommy or whatever.
Yeah.
That's sex ed. That's sex ed. That's
Yeah.
talking about, I do think it needs to start as early as kindergarten. You're not saying sex acts. You're not, and people always panic. I've just moved from the southern United States, and like, heaven forbid I say
Yeah.
anything like this. I will say teen pregnancy, sorry, I don't know Canada's stats, but
Yeah.
teen pregnancy is down almost everywhere across North
Oh,
America, especially the United States.
exciting.
Amazing. The teens
Yeah.
are doing so well, except for vaping. That's up like 6,000%. Tobacco
Yeah.
use.
Oh,
That's
no.
another conversation about
Yeah,
media and advertisement.
for sure.
Except in areas where sex ed isn't taught. So teen pregnancy is up in the South. It's in places where they won't even allow it to be called a penis and a vagina. But
Wow.
teens are very smart now. They know they need to keep their bodies safe. They know they're drinking less, they're smoking marijuana less, they're having sex less. And so, and actually sexting plays a role in that. I'm sorry to say. So like kids are actually often not experimenting physically,
Oh, I see. Yeah.
but will participate in that. So like it's a nuanced conversation. Like
Yeah.
it's being able to see like, oh, my child has questions and they're using social media and texting to sort of answer that. Maybe I can help. But yeah, so early. But as far as like physical stuff, I don't love giving like a set age because again, every kid's different.
Yes, true.
And
Like, I
like,
feel like I was fully grown at
yes,
12 years old.
yes, yeah, like that looks different. People like I didn't have a lot of friends in high school and junior high, and so I knew nothing. But like my brother was like king of the castle and was like talking about stuff that I had no idea about because his friends were talking about it. So then you would approach it differently.
Yeah.
So just kind of paying attention and again being that safe place to have that conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, because I know I had a basic conversation in a book was given to me, and
Yeah.
then,
No, 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 no.
I heard all sorts of stuff when I was
Yeah,
12,
they're gonna
and
hear
then,
it. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
got addicted to pornography at a young age, like, was exposed at,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
14, and then had no idea what to do because I was terrified to tell my parents about it.
Of course.
So I
Yeah. Of
genuinely I
course.
don't think I told them till I was in my 20s that I, like, struggled
Yeah.
through that
Yeah.
on my own, basically,
Yeah.
when
I'm
I
so
didn't
sorry.
have to, but, like, it
No,
felt that
no.
way.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I've talked to my stepkids about porn
Yeah.
all the time because they got exposed to it.
Yeah.
So yeah, they have that stuff on the internet, but like your brain's not quite ready to handle it. Like
Yeah.
this may be too much, but I always go like a lot of those women don't have enough say in being able to do those videos. And I want to make
Mhm.
sure we want to support women having a choice about their bodies. Like I talk about all that kind of stuff because yeah, you have to.
Yeah,
And then
no, I
yeah,
wish I had that
yeah,
conversation earlier. It's just like, if
doesn't
you
this
see it, come talk to me, like,
yeah.
making a plan, like,
And yeah, and then
I was unprepared.
not painting it so evil that then the next time they're afraid, but going,
Yeah.
yeah, that exists.
Mhm.
And it can be a thing that adults participate in when they're older and have a partner. Or you can say whatever you want.
Yeah.
But right now, I don't know. I want you to focus on soccer.
Yeah.
Like, so then, which, you want to say like, no, porn can lead to bad things if they see it too much. And you can say all the bad things, but then they're not going to come to you when it happens
Yeah.
again, and it will happen again.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. The other thing about talking about sex with your kids is you have to also pay attention to if your kid can keep their mouth shut. So like not every kid's going to have a matching knowledge.
Oh,
And
true.
so if like your kid's going to find the
Yes.
secret, they're going to so like maybe you wait till they know like when to keep a
Yeah.
secret,
Yes.
They're not going to go tell their teacher what they learned.
So
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Yes, so
So,
know your kid well enough to be like, they will not talk about this outside the home.
yes, yes. So like that's why I don't necessarily given like a set age
Yeah.
because
No, I
every
think
kid's
that's a great,
different.
like, barometer to see,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
if your kid is ready or not.
yeah.
No, thanks so much for bringing that topic up because it's genuinely something I didn't even think about, but like probably every parent
Every
has to deal
parent is
with
stressed about
so
it.
much these
Yeah. Yeah.
days. So
Yeah. Yeah.
thank you. Are there any warning signs that your kid is struggling with their self-worth?
Um, so if their grades go down,
Mm,
like grades is a really school performance is a really good because if they're overwhelmed, then they're not their their frontal lobe isn't active and they're not participating in higher thinking. So that means cortisol is so they're in the fight or flight mode, right? You
yeah.
can't do math if you're feeling stressed.
Yeah.
How their sleep is really important. So if they're
Mhm.
not sleeping or if they're sleeping too much,
Yeah.
really important. Kids need a lot of sleep. Like, so for teenagers, it's like 12 to 14 hours a night. So
Wow.
like,
Because I
no,
would get in trouble
yes,
if I was like,
yes, yes, and no,
you slept for
yep,
13 hours?
yep.
Absolutely not.
They need that. They need that. I always
Mhm.
say that. And no school system here is set that up
Oh, true.
because
I was up
schools.
at 6
Yeah,
a.m.
yep, yep, yep.
in bed by like 10, maybe.
Yeah, totally. Oh, college was way easier for me because I like actually got sleep. Like I like couldn't believe it. So like yeah, sleep is so important, but school has to start early because parents need to pick them up
Mhm.
because they have to have school end when work ends because we do a bad job at supporting parents. So like it's all a huge system. We can't solve every
Yeah,
problem.
yeah.
But
Mhm.
yeah, if your kids are like sleeping till 1 on Saturday, there's a reason.
Mhm.
Kids don't sleep because they're lazy. They sleep because their bodies and brains need it.
Mm.
So, I mean, that's my I kids aren't unless in a very, 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 very rare occasion they're like born a psychopath. Sure.
Yeah.
But kids don't do things because they're trying to manipulate you. Kids don't do things because they're trying to blah blah blah. They're just trying to like grow their brains. And often the amygdala, which connects sort of like impulse control and wisdom, doesn't finish growing until your like 20s.
Oh, yeah.
So, and then now we know the brain doesn't finish growing for women until late 20s. And now for men, we are thinking early 30s. So that
Yeah.
explains a lot. And so, like, if they're being jerks, it's really because they don't have an amygdala telling them, like, I probably shouldn't be a jerk to the person that's buying my 16th birthday present, right?
Yeah.
Or if they're in Walmart having a tantrum because they want a gift, and you're like, you dummy, your birthday's in 4 weeks. Like, just that part of their brain
Yeah.
isn't there to tell them, like, if I can behave now, I bet you I can get that gift. Like they don't have that. So
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
spanking or like grabbing them and how dare you humiliate me in Walmart,
Yeah.
that they're not trying to humiliate you. Their brains are just like incredibly flooded.
Mhm.
And so I just try to say that to parents, like they're not trying to trick you. They're just trying to exist and
Yeah.
grow. And I get
Mhm.
it because like a meltdown in Walmart, everyone's looking at you. What if CPS gets called? You know, like all the things. I get it. You're just trying to
Mm.
survive and you have to do
Yeah,
what
yeah,
you
yeah.
do. But yeah, so sleep, if their eating is off, too much or too little, grades. And then like kind of like turning inward. You know what that would look like for your own kid, you know.
Yeah.
And sometimes we do need to turn inward and they can have that space. We have those days where like, don't talk to me. Like you put your headphones in at the grocery
Yeah.
store and you're like they're allowed that. But if it's like constant,
Just like 5 days in a row they haven't
yeah,
talked to
yeah, yeah,
me.
exactly. And like, and then maybe it is. So then you have other ways. Like, do you want to go talk to your grandpa and go for a walk? Because
Mhm.
this is a really important thing to know. And I thinking of you and your nieces and nephews and stuff. A child, that 40% stat doesn't need to come from a parent. A child
Mhm.
just needs one adult in their life that listens and hears them 40%. So it could be an
Mhm.
auntie, it could be an uncle, it can be a pastor, it can be a coach.
Yeah.
And so, like, if you're overwhelmed as a parent and you're not
Yeah.
connecting with your kid, which happens, you can
Yeah.
find another adult and it'll serve all the same protective forces
Mhm.
for them. So,
No, that's awesome.
yeah.
'Cause, like, I do love kids.
Yes. Yes. Yeah,
And I love my
yeah.
niece and nephew. And yeah, I definitely feel like I'm mothering
Yeah,
many people.
totally. Yeah, and you should. You should. So this is like, so a lot of our child development stuff comes from anthropological research in hunter-gatherer societies.
Yep.
And the children in those groups are actually develop way faster than
Mhm.
American or westernized children.
Yep.
And it's because they have more, it's a community raising situation. So they have more access to adults. More adults
Mhm.
are talking to them. Their language is moving faster. There are more
Yeah.
adults watching them use a machete or a knife. And so their tools and their grips go faster, come faster. They're
Mhm.
eating healthier foods faster because people are handing them different things all the time. And so, like, the more people
Yeah.
involved, the better children are. Like, safe,
Mhm.
wonderful people. Yeah.
Yeah. So, get your family
Yeah.
involved.
Yes,
No,
go
I'm
find.
definitely
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Be
Or
do
your
a serve and
bestie.
return.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. It doesn't
Yeah,
have to be for
so
parents. Yeah.
yeah. So, in terms of, like, self-worth, let me just try and summarize. So
Yeah.
what I'm hearing is, like, the best thing we can do is maybe giving that love more than 40% of the time.
Yeah, that would
Like,
be great.
finding
Yeah. Yep.
finding ways to get but if
Yep.
you can like, minimum 40, but, like,
Hmm.
if you can do it more, great.
Yeah. And
Like,
it doesn't have to
just
be money. It's just
yeah, spending
listen.
time like,
Yep.
I'm a quality time gal. If you were
Yeah.
like, "Let's go on an auntie date," I'd be like,
Yep.
"Heck
Yep.
yeah!" Like,
Yes,
whatever you
totally.
want.
Yep. Yep. Exactly.
So maybe trying to connect daily, having boundaries
Hmm.
on screen times, may and, like, I'm trying to think. I'm not sure what else.
Like, just boundaries and love have to be paired together.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because if you have boundaries and no love, it's
Yeah.
the like dad from Matilda who's like, I'm
Oh,
big, you're small.
yes.
That's actually how most people have parented since like World War II. Like, I'm
Yeah.
the right, the corporal punishment,
Mhm.
a scary dad. Um, that doesn't help because kids are obedient for the lack of punishment rather than. But
Yeah.
on this flip side, you don't want the mean girl mom
Yeah.
because like my like good friend growing up, like his mom threw us parties and stuff, but would also like wear like a thong bikini, and it was like
Mm.
like fun. That was really cool
Yeah.
as like her friend, but you need to be able to like keep your kids safe. So you don't want to be
Yeah.
that either. So you want to match right in the
Mhm. So love and boundaries,
middle. Yep. Hmm.
and then am I missing it? Well, having conversations about consent early,
Early.
and then
Yeah.
call it a penis, call it a
Penis and
vagina,
vagina. Yeah. I think that
and
might be the name of the
then
episode. Really.
I should. And then is there well, I don't think we talked about going outside. Should, like, we try and get our kids outside every day? Or, like, is there
There's,
science-backed stuff, but, like,
I think it
some
goes back to
takeaways?
just like knowing your kid.
Mhm.
Like some kids love it, some kids don't. Um, we kind of live in a scarier time, like keeping your kids safe. Like latchkey kids don't exist anymore, where you
Yeah.
just like, yeah, like we don't do that.
Yeah.
So like being outside is great, but maybe your outside's not safe.
Yeah.
Like it's about different experiences. It's about your kids feeling comfortable. So like
Mhm.
if your kid's a video game kid, so he's eating Taco Bell every day, you might want to keep an
Mhm.
eye on it and say, like, I think let's shake it up and try to do something different and get them out of the house.
Mhm.
But not like punish them for like being drawn to video games, like
Mhm.
people are just built different. And
Yeah.
honestly, all the video game kids in my life now work for Google and like make so much money. Like,
Yeah, so true.
like, yeah, like a lot of the jobs that children will have in the future don't exist yet because they're
Yeah.
all tech based things that haven't been invented. So, like, technology isn't this horrible thing. Like, we can have that space for it. But
Mhm.
yeah, exercise is always great.
Yeah.
Adventure is always great. But, like, you have to have like a yard. You have to be a mom who has space to like keep track of where they go. And not all
Yeah.
moms have that
Mhm.
or parents have that.
Mhm.
Um, So a hike may be really far away. Like it's just unfair to say like, yeah, get them
Yeah.
on the most expensive bike and take them to
Yeah.
the blah blah blah. Like
Yeah, so sort of do your best in your situation
yeah,
for
balance. Yeah, balance.
yeah,
Yeah.
finding balance, and then, showing your kids your
Yep. Perfect.
vulnerability, sorry, that was a tough
Yeah,
word.
it's
Yeah,
okay.
just, like, letting them see your emotions, naming your emotions, and helping them to name theirs.
Yep.
I think
Yep.
that's something I really learned today.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
like
Like my stepkids know I take my Zoloft. I don't call it Zoloft. I go, got my brain pill, like because
Yeah.
they take ADHD pills, and I
Mhm.
like want to validate them for taking
Yeah.
remembering their
Mhm.
medicine and letting them know like they're not broken, they're not a bad person. They just need a
Mhm.
little help with their brain, just like I need a little help with my brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Awesome. Okay.
Okay.
Am I missing anything, or is it like
No, that's such a great summary.
okay.
Come summarize my lectures. I'll zoom you in.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining
You're
me today. Like,
welcome.
this is I feel like I'm gonna have to re-listen to this, like, 5,000,000 times to, like,
Oh,
get everything I need out of it, you
I'm
know?
sorry if I talk so much.
No, I
Sorry.
definitely wanna have you come back on. There were some things you're
Yeah.
like, "That could be a full episode,"
Yeah.
and yes, let's
Yes,
do it
let's
again.
do it. Yeah, 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 yeah.
So
Yeah,
thank you
and
so much.
maybe I'll give you my contact info, but
Yeah,
parents can reach out if they have,
is
like, specific questions. Yeah.
yeah, if anybody has questions, or I'll put your email in the show
Great.
notes, and they
Perfect.
can reach out to you
Yeah,
personally.
I'd love to
Um,
help.
yeah, honestly, I feel like I'm probably gonna get a lot of questions, so I'm definitely gonna
Yeah,
have you back.
great.
Maybe we can answer those another time, but thank you so much
Yeah,
again
you're
for being here.
welcome. You're welcome. All right. Have a good weekend.
All right. Thank you. You
Yeah.
too.